All right, Bobcat, Lady Cat fans, welcome to Coach's Corner with Coach Jared Duncan, myself, Guy Walker, Coach Mitchell, sponsored by Bubba's 33 and Roof Master. That's a big old long intro right there. Coach, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
Coach, we just had a big meet up here at the school. I don't know if anybody has ever seen anything like it. How many teams did you have show up last week?
Yeah, we ended up with 42 on Friday for the high school meet, and then another 39 or so on Saturday for junior high.
So how do you do 42 teams in one day?
Well, we have 6 different races going on, so that a lot of small schools, and those divisions are usually bigger. And then we've got our 5A, 6A divisions for boys and girls, so they end up getting spread out. But it was close to 1,000 runners total.
So, Coach, I come up here and I watch the boys take off, and Coach Mitchell, I never seen it like. I bet you there was 100 kids or maybe 200 took off at one time. How do you manage that?
I mean, we have a big wide start line, and we try to make the start as long and wide as we can, and then they just kind of are able to spread out and funnel in. And
how do they get to choose where they get?
Yeah, that's
first come, first serve? Or
our meet is first come, first serve. We just put the line out and let them get a spot. Some of the bigger meets you go to, they've got a designated box for each team.
Okay. So you don't, because we're home team, we don't get to pick where we want to be?
Well, if they get out there early enough, they can. Yeah. Some of our teams do better at getting a good spot on the line than others.
Is there a better spot on the line? When you do a shotgun start like that,
yeah,
I'm going to call it that.
The 5K start that's in the field, there's really no advantage anywhere. The 2-mile start, once you get on the turf, you definitely want to be on the right side. It's a little bit shorter.
I got you.
Getting to the funnel.
So, in a start like that, you got 200 young men or 200 young women taking off all at one time. If the lead dog falls and everybody falls behind them, what do you do? Just, hey, let's start it all over?
Yeah, they can. It doesn't happen very often in cross country, but if somebody does fall, they can shoot the gun again and call them back. I don't do that because I'm just ready to roll our meet.
Roll the next
one. So you don't have heat 1, heat 2, heat 3. You got them just.
Everybody goes. Just you've got your division.
It's mass hysteria.
It's varsity boys, 5A, 6A. Everybody goes at one time.
Roll with it.
Yeah.
So once, and I'm going to describe the track back. We're back in the back behind the school. I'm pointing like everybody can see us. We run across the football field. And then we run around and we skeech off in the woods. That's where the stuff gets kind of hairy, scary back there.
Nobody knows what happens in the woods. Yeah,
So,
it's about our trail is about 2 miles in the woods.
Right.
And we've got a few spotters on the course, but yeah,
And how wide is it running through there?
It's about maybe 6 to 8 feet, I guess, throughout the trail.
So it's very, very, very important to be the lead dog when you get to the woods, correct?
Our start is long enough. We've got the whole turf, so I mean, you're talking about 200 yards or so. So there's enough time for them to kind of spread out on their own.
Now there's no
repeat
part of the trail, is there? Because like when I was in college, and my college baseball coach would make us run 3 miles every morning. We had a little bridge about halfway down there that we could duck underneath that bridge. And then we waited for the crew to come back. We'd jump out and start running like we had ran the whole thing. So there's no parts like that out in the woods where they can hide out and then jump out and they're in the lead.
There are places where the trail kind of comes close together and you could cut easily, and my runners know where those are.
I would have been one of those guys.
But so we try to put spotters on those places so they're kind of watching those cut throughs. But it is a 2-mile loop and then a 1-mile loop. And what's nice about that for us is once they get on they've run the 2-mile first. Once they get on the 1-mile loop, we can start the next race, and so we're able to go pretty quick, and they don't overlap each other.
So how did Hallsville do this last week?
Our girls won their division, and the boys were second.
That's
good.
That's really good.
Yeah, really. That's 3 in a row for the girls to win this year.
So who's your top runners for the girls at this moment?
Callie Hatfield's been the top girl at every meet so far, and Gage Brumall's been first for the boys.
So I know the last 3 years you've had, you had Sam and then the young lady Avery Perkins.
Yes.
How is it hard to replace that kind of level of running?
Yeah, I mean you can't. Sam was a very good runner. We've got some coming up that are kind of comparable to what he's done. We've got a really good boys team this year. It's hard to replace Avery. She was just kind of elite across the state, like in state competition. So that's hard to replace, but the girls' team's still solid this year.
So it would have not been too hard to replace you or I, Guy.
Right. No, I mean, I make a really good, I'll bring you a towel, throw it at you, or bring the water to you. I'm not going to run no very far.
That's important.
That's very, very important. So how many miles a day do you prepare? And do you run the track, the woods track, on a daily basis?
Yeah, well, they run it a few times a week, I guess. We've got it marked, and it's fun to do for some workouts, but we're doing our workouts in the morning when it's dark, so they don't get to get on the trail for those. But afternoon easy runs, they'll go out and do
Right.
the trail quite a bit.
What do you mean? You run in the morning and in the afternoon?
Like, yeah, Monday, Wednesday, we do our workouts in the morning. They come back and do another run and then get in the weight room.
Coach Metro, you would you
I'd
wanna
have
go
been
work?
hurt in the
You
afternoon.
want to work out with them? How many miles you run in the morning, Coach?
They did about 5 this morning, and they did 2 this afternoon, and then weight room. So they'll get their recovery day tomorrow.
And we won't run but what, 4 miles
4
tomorrow?
miles,
You know, those guys that run,
Right.
those, I have a daughter that runs half marathons, and she did not get that from me, by the way, because running is not something I want to do voluntarily.
Right.
There's going to be somebody chasing me or some animal after me would make me have to run now.
Exactly. So where's our next meet at, Coach, and what are our chances of winning boys and girls?
Well, JV will run in Pine Tree this week on Friday.
Say it right. Pine Stinking
Pine
Tree.
Stinking Tree, you're right. That's where
Pine
JV will run.
stump, whichever one.
Pine Stinking Tree.
The boys I'm going to put in the varsity division. They've been our JV team. So I don't think they have real good chances of winning that one, but they'll hopefully compete. And then the JV girls will run in their division. Then the varsity's going to go to Lovejoy on Saturday. They run on Saturday. Again, that's not a meet we're looking to win, but just kind of see
Right.
how we'll stack up against some of our regional competition.
So do they have the same setup, run it through the woods like we do, or is it just running on the road?
There's not another course like ours that's predominantly woods. Lovejoy is going to be just a huge open field.
I got you. What would you rather do, through the woods or an open field like that with your team?
Well, me personally, I think that our trail is fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Our kids, it's not a fast course, and so they don't necessarily love it. I don't know. I like the looped courses too, that you can kind of see them the whole time. Lovejoy's sort of that way. But for me personally, I think the running through woods would be more
Well, I know
interesting.
we're almost out of time, but when you're running through the woods, have you ever had a kid come say, "Coach, did you see that snake or
Oh, yeah,
that skunk or?"
That's
Yeah,
the
we've
adventure of
seen-
it right there.
Yeah, that has to be a part of it.
I've had kids come back bringing me turtles that they found holding a turtle. They've seen snakes. I've seen coyotes, deer out on our trail.
So there's
Coach, that's like an obstacle course right
Yeah.
there.
yes,
I mean, you come running up on a
I think
skunk,
it would
can
might-
you outrun the skunk?
it would make me run faster if I saw it.
We've not seen a skunk, but I'm sure they're out there.
I mean, you can do the jumping over the snakes and that's interesting. Coach Duncan, we appreciate it. Bobcat fans, this has been Coach's Corner with Coach Duncan, Guy Walker, Coach Scott Mitchell, the legend himself, sponsored by Bubba's 33 and Roof Masters. Thank you so much.